Amazon stock might be in trouble in the first half of 2025. We got some news today from a company that does a lot of business with Amazon, and they have reason to believe that Amazon sales might be in a weak spot. And we get to see specifically what Amazon sales numbers are looking like from the e-commerce business, from AWS, etc. on Thursday after the close. So save this date in your calendar. It's this week, May 1st, after the market closes. Somewhere between 4:05 and 4:15 p.m. Eastern time is when we'll get these numbers. And we'll be able to check out the e-commerce numbers, we'll be able to check out the AWS numbers, and we'll be able to check out international numbers. But before we get those numbers, I think it's important to chat through this to see what potentially could be coming for Amazon. We can wrap our head around all potential possibilities with Amazon stock, especially if you own shares or you're looking to pick up more shares. But first, before we get into that, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Austin. I'm a co-owner of CloudMusicSuite.com. I'm also a stock market investor. And most importantly for this video, I'm a shareholder of Amazon. I've been a shareholder of Amazon since late 2022. That was the first time I ever owned Amazon shares. It's a stock I had always wanted to own, but I never really liked the valuation until late 2022 when we got that big time, big tech crash. I was able to pick up shares for under $100. That was an absolute blessing. I bought like crazy, and it's been a great ride since that time. Also, if you want to hear about all the other stocks I'm holding, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, any market commentary I've got, and just get a little bit more direct access to me, consider joining the Patreon with the link in the description and the pinned comment down there. We'd love to have you in there. Over 100 members. It'd be awesome to see you in there as well. All right, let's jump into the video. So today, before the market opened, we got UPS stock reporting their earnings. And the reason this matters is their largest customer is Amazon, okay? So their Q1 earnings were pretty solid. They had a nice profit beat, but inside of this report, they also let investors know that they will be cutting 20,000 jobs to lower costs in an attempt to keep their profitability in a good spot because of the uncertain economy and in anticipation of weak volumes from its largest customer, Amazon. So what does this mean for Amazon specifically inside of Q1? Probably, since we're already inside of Q2, right? Right now it's April 29th as I'm recording this video. So we're already like 29 days into Q2. So probably for Q1, Amazon is going to be totally fine. But what UPS is seeing is that in Q2, they might have a weak quarter. So we'll see if guidance comes in weak for Amazon. If they issue Q2 revenue guidance and EPS guidance, is it weak? If it is, I can almost guarantee you that the stock is going to drop. If they don't release guidance at all, we'll probably be somewhere around flat. But these very huge, respected, established companies almost always give guidance for the quarter that's coming up. So I would expect that they're going to give some Q2 guidance. We'll see if UPS is telling the truth and they really think Amazon's actually going to have a weak quarter, or if they're just using that as an excuse to lay off 20,000 people and kind of save some cost there. The one thing that could save Amazon stock price, though, if we do get that weak Q2 guidance, is AWS numbers. If they have a strong AWS guide for Q2, and if they have a strong Q1 for AWS, they've been a little bit lower growth on AWS than what people would like to see. Last quarter, they saw 19% growth. I personally would really like to see somewhere between 22 and 27% growth for Amazon Web Services. And the reason I want to see that is because I know that they're so insanely efficient. That's such a crazy profitable segment. Any extra percent increase in revenue that they get is going to be an explosion on the bottom line. Just for reference for Amazon, let's check out the 3 different segments: North America sales, international sales, and then the AWS segment. So just the revenue alone, North America, $115.6 billion in the most recent quarter. International, $43.4 billion in the most recent quarter. And AWS is the lowest by a long shot in terms of revenue at $28.8 billion. But here's the crazy part. Operating income from the North America retail segment is $9.3 billion. Operating income from the international segment is $1.3 billion. And then operating income from the AWS segment is higher than both of those individually, and it actually matches them combined. You take all of the e-commerce operating income, you combine it together, it's equal to the AWS segment, and that's with way less revenue. The operating income was $10.6 billion billion in the most recent quarter from AWS. That is an insanely profitable segment. So any amount of growth they can bring to the AWS segment, if they have a banger Q1 for AWS and they have strong Q2 guidance for AWS, that could save the stock price if we see weak e-commerce guidance numbers. And it's totally possible and honestly pretty probable that AWS is really strong right now. We've still got big time AI spin going on, and the computing behind the scenes of all these large language models is not free, okay? AWS has been and will continue to be a large beneficiary of the AI wave. But we'll have to wait and see what specifically happens inside of Q1 and what happens with that Q2 guide inside of that earnings report on Thursday after the market closes. Let me know what you think is going to happen with Amazon stock in the comments below. Definitely one of my favorite parts of posting here on YouTube is having some conversation with you guys down there and chatting with you in the comments section. I appreciate you being here in a major way. Thank you so much. Have a great day.